previous other window companies for a couple years, and I always had a desire to work for this company when I was working for those companies because of our quality, our pricing, and just the way that this company treats customers versus the way that those other companies that a lot of people know of treated customers. It just wasn't the way I was raised. I wasn't comfortable with it.
I like helping the people. I like the part I like about the job the most is it's the difference in people. I get to help them. I get to use my expertise. Being in both ends of the install and the designing end of it, I know what works, what doesn't work, and I can just help our customers make a better decision.
I get to do what I like, which sounds stupid, but I like numbers.
Oh man, we went through probably like a week or two of training, and we go out, you're nervous, and you go out to your first job and you sell it, and you wait for it to show up, and you go out to, see what you sold, and you go back and the house is, it was a little rougher, and we go back and our windows are in the house, and man, the whole house is shiny now. It's like it was rough looking, but they didn't do nothing but put windows in, and now it's shiny. So it's like, just windows really put on it, and I'm like, I just couldn't believe how what I sold them changed their house. So now I'm like, okay, I'm changing people's house for their family, so I can get behind this.
I mean, it's a wonderful feeling to enjoy your job versus having to go in and lie to somebody, which I had to do with other companies. When you can go in there with the confidence that no matter what, they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be satisfied. That gives you a peace of mind. I mean, if I see you in a grocery store, I don't have to run and hide.
I like the diversity. I feel that the people that we touch are very educated in our product. They always seem to be having multiple quotes, but they choose us, which is wonderful. I think the care from our installers is above and beyond any place I've ever seen. Administrative folks are just on top of their game, and they certainly deal with a lot of stressful situations, and the way they navigate through it has been quite impressive.
My job is basically just making sure that everything runs correctly. I like the whole aspect of the job. I like working with the people, working with the customers. My job's just basically making sure that everybody else is doing their job and the customer's happy.
Some issue at a job site in, I think it was in Painesville, and I go out there and the issue was minor. It was very minor. However, as I was leaving, wrapping up at the lane, the woman, she asked, hey, my husband passed away and I can't hang up this cabinet and the door handle fell off. Could you help me with it? And I laughed, and I got a cup of coffee out of it, grabbed some tools, and hung the door handle for her, and then ended up actually adjusting the refrigerator door as well. And she kind of gave me a big hug, and I could feel a little tear touching the side of my cheek. So that pretty much made my month.
If I was working for a corporation or anything, I would be just crunching numbers all day and just typing it all in. Here, I get to actually use a lot of the human connection that you don't get in accounting. I do a lot of the legal wording. I get to do a little bit of the HR aspects of things and really get to work with people, which I love.
I think that's probably what I enjoy the most is going into people's homes, sitting down with them, finding out who they are and what they do, and is very. I really enjoy that part of it. Getting to know them and helping them, and I think that's rewarding to me, and so that's probably what I enjoy the most doing. Every once in a while, somebody will give me something. They'll give me either something they grew in their garden or these kind of things, and so it's just nice to have that rapport.
I started out very overwhelmed, but then it became, as I grew with the company, it started to be like more, it just got
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
I love helping people. I'm got about 24 years customer service experience now, and every day is different. Every situation is special and unique, and the real reward is making people happy and improving their home.
So I remember the one time Patrick tried to get us with a prank.
Yeah, so I came in early one morning and there was a cat meowing. I had started working early, about 8 a.m., and we just, every half hour, 10, 15 minutes, we just hear meow. And Joni could have sworn that there was a cat stuck in the wall.
So when I came in at 9 o'clock, they're like, "Oh my God, thank you for being here. There's a cat in the walls." And I was like, "There's not a cat in the walls." And I'm like, "I don't hear anything, guys. I think you're crazy." But then I started hearing it myself, and I literally went through the entire server room trying to figure out where this sound was coming from. And no one would own up to it. No one. Until finally Patrick walks in. At one point I said, "You."
All the moments, all the picnics that we have together, the family reunions that we do, all that stuff has just been great moments.
Family reunion trip in Arizona. Fred was walking around, of course, looking to get some refreshments, and nothing was open. And the next thing you know, he ended up in our hotel room, and my wife was making him the refreshments that he was looking for. So that was a great introduction to my wife meeting Fred.
Recently had an upset customer in Cleveland. His install was rescheduled a lot of different times due to weather. When I called him to let him know that it was rescheduled for one other additional time, he was upset. 5 minutes later, he called back and he apologized left and right. And I agree with him. You don't have to apologize. I want your windows in as much as you want them in. And he completely was thankful for that. He's like, "I didn't even think about that." I'm like, I'm as upset as you are about this. And he's like, "I appreciate that."
At Window World here, I have a really good one. I went to a customer's house out in Waynesburg. They were complaining they were getting flies in the house. I walk into the lady's house. She has all the windows open and all the screens pushed to the top. I was like, "Ma'am, I think you need to put your screens on." She says, "Well, I don't want to do that." She goes, "That ruins the view of the deer." Older lady, nice sweet old lady. I said, "I'm sorry, ma'am," but I had to, that was so funny. And there's flies all going through her house and everything. I'm like, okay, that's why you have the problems with the flies.
A funny time that I experienced here at Window World was at the company picnic. They had a dunk tank there, and your dad told Rick he had to get in the dunk tank, of course, because if anybody's going to torture Rick, it's going to be your dad. So he got in the dunk tank, and my daughter was there at the time, and Rick kept telling her she couldn't hit the dunk tank, she couldn't hit it. So she kept trying to throw, and she missed. And then they were doing money for St. Jude, so your dad was giving her money, trying to give her more chances. And then she just said heck with it, and she just ran up there and hit the button when Rick wasn't looking, and he went right down in the dunk tank. So that was really a good time.
I can remember before I worked here, it was years ago, Mark was employed. We were randomly at a Wendy's and walked in just to get lunch normally. Pat happened to be there. Started talking to him and everything, and he's like, "What are you guys getting?" I'm like, "Oh, we might get this, whatever." He's like, "Okay, go order it." And we're like, "What?" He's like, "Go order it. I got it. I got you guys." I didn't even know this man that well yet. Like, just willing to give everything to anyone. So that sticks with me.
The Moran family, they're very loyal. They're great with their employees. It's just a family. I just feel like they're part of family.
You know, this is a big company. There's 200 and some national stores, but we have 7 of them. But it's the most family oriented I've ever been around. They all work together. Pat is the leader, and you know what? First one in, last one out. If you got to call him, he answers the phone. He's not above nobody. He's right with us. I've never had a boss that It's overpromised and overdelivered.
I remember, in fact, when you were in high school and your mom was working here in the office, you came in with your friends because she was working. You came here to show your prom dresses for prom, and so we all got to see it. It kind of made us feel like a family atmosphere, really. And then I got the pleasure of going to your wedding, so I got to see your prom dress and your wedding dress. So that's a memorable moment for me.
The most caring and will do anything for you family. Like, even though yes, they're my bosses, they're just amazing. Just for instance, when I was trying to buy my house, I was just joking, saying, hey Pat, can I borrow like $4,000 for a down deposit? And he is like, oh yeah, but he turned and was walking away, but then stopped and turned. Like, no, seriously, do you need it? Because we can help you out. And I was like, oh, I'm just joking, but it's really amazing that he even thought that it might be needed and was willing to do so. So just they're amazing people that I know will do anything to help their employees if they need it.
The biggest thing I find is they'll stick behind you if you're in the right. They'll, you're told if you're wrong, but if you're right and can explain your side, they're very receptive to that. And everybody's just been very upfront and honest about things. And just like me coming over, Pat said he'd do it and he did it.
Marine very nice, very comfortable people to be around, make you nice and easy to work with, most of the time. You know how that goes.
Oh, definitely extended family. Anything that happens, even with me getting pregnant or anything at home with my daughter graduating, and I can't wait to tell you guys about just stuff that's happening in my family, and you guys are just excited as if I was telling my own sisters.
It's nice to work next to a family that actually sits down and works with you and is just as involved with the company and with the customers as any other coworker. It's just really reassuring knowing that if we need help, we can go to them, we can get help from them, and they're right there working next to us.
Yeah, very good point. Always there to help us
I
out.
say that the Moran family, they're a very loving, hard-working family that care about their employees, and they care about the future of their employees. I've never worked for anybody that had so much love and interest in their employees.